welcome back students to So We Learn of St. Joseph's open web-based learning platform. Today we are going to discuss another topic called geological time scale. So what exactly is geological time? So this is a record of the life forms and geological events in the earth history. Scientists place the earth's rocks in order by relative age to create the geological column. So we developed the scale by studying these work layers and index the fossils. Radioactive dating helped us determine the absolute date of the divisions in the scale. So the geological time scale, when you see it is given as a era, the period and the events that has taken place in those eras and period. So entire geological time scale, when you see it is 650 million years ago to the present, it has been given where the millions of years they have right from the eras they are divided into Cenozoic, Mesozoic, Paleozoic and late Proterozoic eras. When you see the eras, the Cenozoic era, which is the present era, where you will see the quaternary and tertiary, the evolution of humans and mammals and diversity has taken place. While in the Mesozoic area, in which is present the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous, where you will be fed the periods, and in these periods, in the Cretaceous, you see the extinction of dinosaurs from primates. First flowering plants were observed in the Cretaceous period, and in the Jurassic, we see the first birds and the dinosaurs diversity, and in Triassic, we see the first mammals and the and the Permian period, you see the major extinction of the reptiles diversity. While the era from the 550 million years to 250 million years, we call this as the Paleozoic era, where is the period, the era is divided into Permian period, the Carboniferous period, the Devonian period, the Silurian period, and Ordovician period and Cambrian period. The first era in the period in the Paleozoic era is known as the Cambrian, which was from 500 to 550 million years ago. For these, where you find the first fishes and the first chordates, and then in the Ordovician period, we see the diversification of metazoan families, and in the Silurian period, we see the first vascular land plants, which we call it as the pteridophytes. Then in the Paleozoic Devonian period, you see the first amphibians, the jawed fish diversity, and in the Carboniferous period, they are again divided into Pennsylvanian and Mississippian, where you find the first reptiles, the scale trees, and the sea ferns, and in the Permian period, you will be observing mostly the major extinctions of the reptiles diversity. Then the other is known as the late Proto-Pterozoic era, where mostly you won't the first skeletal elemental forms, the first soft bodies, metazoans, the first animal traces have been observed. So the earth through the time, when you see the first beginning, we call it as the Proterozoic era, when life was not there, or the earth initially from 4.6 billion years ago. Simple single cell forms of life appear 3.8 billion years ago. Land masses gathered to make up a continent called the Rodinia. So the Cambrian, the explosion of the life, all existing phyla comes into being in this life. Life forms in warm skies as oxygen levels rise enough to support life, and the dominant animals, mostly the marine invertebrates, were developed. Supercontinental Gondwana forms rate the South Pole node position of the present day Florida. Then comes the another era, we call it as the Ordovician. This is the way where the first animals with bones appear through dominant animals, and still trilobites, brachiopods, and corals. And the four main continents are the Gondwana, Baltica, Siberia, and Lusitania. Then comes the Silurian. where the first land plants appeared and land animals were followed. The Laurentia collides and the Baltica encloses Lapteus. The Devonians, which is also known as the age of the fish, here the dominant animals were the fish, and the present date is the Arctic Canada was at the equator and hardwoods began to grow. The amphibians, evergreens, and ferns appears in the Devonian period. Then comes the Mississippi, where you find the first seed plants appears, and in Pennsylvania, mostly the modern North American begins to form lizards and wing insects appear. The Permian phase, you can see the Pangea forms, the reptiles spread across the continents, the Appalachians rise, 90% of the Earth species become extinct due to volcanism in Siberia. In the Triassic, the first dinosaur appears, the first mammals, small rodents appear, the Rocky Mountains form, the turtle fossils from the period, and the Pangea breaks up. The Jurassic period, where you see the dinosaurs flourish, where we call the golden era of the dinosaurs, the North American continent rotate away from the Africa. In the Cretaceous period, the first snakes and primates appear, deciduous trees and grasses were common, the first flowering plants were seen in the Cretaceous period, and then there was a mass extinction. In the tertiary, the first horses appear and tropical plants dominated. The grasses spread and whales, rhinos, elephants, and other large mammals develop. The dog, cats, and apes appear in Oligocene. And the quaternary is the modern human develop, and ice sheets are predominant, and Holocene is the human flourish. If you see the divisions of the geological time, that is mostly depend on the events in the history of life on Earth, where the divisions of the time is grouped into Eon, Era, Period, and Epoch, where Eon is the largest division of the geological time. Era is the second largest, include two or more periods. The periods are the three largest unit into which eras are divided, and then the epoch, the fourth largest division of the period. So the Hadean rocks and the meteoroids and the moons are formed. The Archean alien rocks on the earth forms. The Proteozoic organism well developed cells, and Phanerozoic means visible life well represented in fossil records. So this is the time scale that has been given from Precambrian earliest span of time to Phanerozoic everything since. So you can see the Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic, where the Mesozoic age is of invertebrates, Mesozoic is the age of reptiles, and Cenozoic is the age of mammals. So Paleozoic is the basically the early life where 544 years to 244 million years ago. The Mesozoic era is the middle life where 245 to 66 million years ago. The Cenozoic is the recent life is 66 million years to the present, which one of the you live in today. So that basically is the Cenozoic era, which is 67 million years ago to the present. So if you see the periods from the past to the present, it starts from the Cambrian with the explosion of the life, then the first land plants were the Silurian, then if you see the first flowering plants were found in the Jurassic period, and then you see the age of man as the Quaternary, which is the present period. So we know now the earth is formed 4.6 billion years ago. Scientists think that the earth began as a small ball of dust, rock and ice. Gravity pulled this mass together. The earth grew larger. Gravity increased, pulled in nearby dust, ice and rock. As objects hit earth at its speeds, their energy changed into thermal energy. The energy from collisions caused Earth temperature to rise until planet was very hot. Scientists believe Earth may have become so hot it melted denser materials sank towards the center, formed Earth's dense iron core. At same times, Earth continuously lost heat to cold of space. Less dense molten material hardened to form Earth's outer layers, and the ocean forms. The mass extinction occurs between two periods, the first period between the Paleozoic and the Mesozoic era, and the second between Mesozoic and the Cenozoic era. Thank you.